start letting people in. Let's see, who else did I have marked here? Frost and the Robocop. We have a few people that are joining us for the first time. And that's always fun. So, okay, DeVillio, Cluster. Okay, I'm going to start letting people in.
Go, let's start. 7 o'clock.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Let's do it.
Got some music in the background. Denise.
Look at the screen. Pop, pop, pop. Everybody.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Chin chin.
Welcome. Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Hi, Jackie and Merritt. Welcome. Hi, Tom and Mary Beth. Welcome.
Hello, Bobby.
Good to see you.
There you go. Puglia in the house.
We're letting people, getting everybody else in here. Let's see. Oops.
Look at this room. So many people.
We're bringing everybody in at once. Welcome back,
Okay.
Bill and Carol from South Carolina.
So many familiar faces. Look at that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello, Bobby.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, John and Jan. Welcome. See who all is on. Let's see. Hi, Gia. Hi, guys. Is Eileen with you?
I haven't heard from her, so I don't know if we're
Okay.
or not. So you
Okay,
never
all right,
know.
no problem. And hi, Tom and Lisa.
Hi, we just said
Ciao.
we just got
And
back.
Elise, hi, Elise. Welcome. Ciao. Let's see. And the Wisemans, welcome. Hello, Paul and Carol, welcome.
Okay.
Hey.
Ciao, Tom. And Katie and your crew, I see you guys. Thank you for joining. And the Baileys, thank you for joining. Hi, Kathy.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Buongiorno.
Hi, Susan.
No, che buongiorno. Buonasera.
Miles
Tu
and
sei
Mary Beth.
buongiorno.
Hi. Hi,
Tu
guys.
sei buongiorno. Tu sei
Hello.
buongiorno.
Who said buongiorno?
It's buonasera.
Buonasera now. Yeah.
Sue.
Hi,
Let's
Denise
get
and
this
Charlie. Welcome. And Ed and Andy, welcome.
Hey.
Let's see. Hi, Mario. See, I think that is Toby and Linda trying to get hooked up there. Whoops, we've got a couple more people coming. Hi, Janet and David.
Yeah, I'll have it for 2 courses.
Where's your pups? Sleeping? Are they sleeping? All right, and who else do we have here? Let's see. Oh, hi, Lucas and Katie. Welcome. Hi.
Hello.
Look at that.
Hello.
So
Let's
many
see who-
people.
oh. Regina's coming on. Let's see. Oh, did we- okay. Oh, Miles, where are you guys? Miles Taylor. There you all are. Ciao. Welcome.
25 people in the room.
Yeah, we should just fill up the screen. So that's perfect. All right. I think, let me just see here if we've got everybody. Wait a minute. Let's see here. While we're making sure everybody's in, if everybody could be getting your first course plated if you haven't already, and your first glass of wine poured, and we'll see if we're missing anybody else. Let's just see here. Regina, hi, Regina.
You got a Miles Taylor?
Welcome.
Is there a Miles Taylor?
There is a Miles Taylor.
Okay, because I went to school with a Miles Taylor. Did you go to Charles W. Woodward High School?
Miles Taylor.
I indeed did, class of 1975.
Same year as me.
So
I'm Glenn Glasgow.
Oh, son of a gun. I'll be damned. Glenn, how are you?
Okay, so get this, Miles. We moved here to Easton this past summer and bought a house on the Miles River from Mark Maloney.
Holy cats.
Yeah.
Small world.
Gonna meet on these dinners.
Okay, Glenn, we will connect. We will get each other through Bobby.
Okay, I'll put you two
Fantastic.
together.
So good to see you.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
great to
That's
see
awesome. We love to make connections.
He's talking,
So
but we're.
that's great.
Did anybody here went to high school in Italy in Le Marche in 1990? Any of you?
Oh, anybody? Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. Somebody must know somebody.
I have to admit, Carol and I both went there and we graduated in the year 2000.
Okay, so probably went to school together.
All right.
I was the guy who was cheating all the paperwork. It was-
Marcello, does
Right.
it count that we had two daughters who went to school in Perugia?
Of course it counts. That's international school in Perugia. Yes, it counts.
That counts. That counts. All right, great. Okay, I think that we have everybody on. So I would love to welcome everybody tonight. We're really excited to visit Puglia. We've been to Puglia a little bit in some of our past dinners. We've had 1 or 2 wines from there, but we've never done an entire Puglia wine and foods. So we're really excited to be visiting Puglia with Marcello Palazzi joining us again from Wine Boat Imports. And Marcello, if some of you who have been to our past dinners with Marcello know that he is from Naples, Italy, and he's living now in Naples, Florida. So he switched over to the other Naples. So anyway, we're thrilled to have you here, Marcello, and we're really excited about the wines that we've got lined up for you tonight. And we'll be talking about the foods too as we go through each course. So welcome. And when we get to the one course, Giovanni's going to talk a little bit about the Frizzelli because he's been eating them all his life.
The
And,
Frizzella master.
Yes, he's a master Frizzelli. So welcome everybody. And Chris, I know you guys joined there. It's very welcome. Thank you. And let's get going. So Marcello, let's do it.
Well, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, all of you. I see many familiar faces, so I'm very happy. That means that actually I did not scare you off, all of you. So that's good. I see some new people. That's great. Welcome. I'm gonna try to be as little as possible weird. So don't get too shocked. It is a true Italian virtual event. We are not only sharing Italian wines, but we're gonna talk about Italian food and Italian culture. Tonight, as Bobby mentioned, we are traveling to Puglia, and Puglia is a beautiful region. It's the heel of the boot of Italy, and it's an amazing resource of great food, wine, and a beautiful place for vacation. And tonight, we are actually going to visit Puglia through 2 wineries, 2 families, I should say. The Botromagno winery owned by the D'Agostino family and the Cantele winery owned by the Cantele family. They are located in different areas, but they are all both good friends of mine. As a matter of fact, Beniamino Botromagno, I was talking to him today. I mentioned that we were doing it. He was very happy. As well, Paolo Cantele, the owner of Cantele, he was very excited. We were showing his wine as well. So with no further ado, as some of you are familiar, I will share the presentation, a very simple presentation I put together. But before we do that, I would like to all of you do a little toast. You have your white wine, your Gravina. There we go, everybody. Cheers.
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 Here's to a great evening.
Cheers.
Thank you all for joining us.
So before we talk about the wines, always, as you know, I like to share a little information to get our mind around the region, a little the culture, and some fun fact of the region. So Puglia, many of you are familiar, is right there on the map, is the heel of the boot of Italy. It's a beautiful peninsula. There are three sides of the region. It's on the water, and it's a beautiful southern region of Italy, very flat region of Italy. A few things that many people are not familiar. I would like to share some facts. First of all, Puglia has the longest coastline of any Italian mainland region. So excluding Sicily and Sardinia, obviously two islands, every other region of Italy has less coastline than Puglia. The heel of the Italy boot-like shape is the defining geographical feature of the area and has almost 500 miles of beach. It's amazing. If you like a beautiful place to, if you like the beach, the sun, the water, the sea, Puglia is for you. You should go there. Another thing that many of you are familiar, very typical from Puglia, are the trulli. Trulli on the top corner on the left are those beautiful traditional Apulian dry stone with a conical roof. Trulli were generally constructed as a temporary field shelters around the town, most of the Alberello. The golden age of Trulli was the 19th century, especially its final decades, but still now, you can see them, and now it's a touristic attraction when you go there, a beautiful place. There are many places that you can rent, you can stay there during the summer, very, very nice. And one thing I think that it's very important talking about wine and food is that not too many people are familiar that Puglia in the past was known as the bread basket of Italy. This is due to the area's large production of pasta and bread, something that can be tracked the Mussolini rules in Italy over the World War I. So it really was an important region for the production of pasta and bread for Italy. As a matter of fact, got the name of the bread basket of Italy. By the way, if you never had a Puglia, the nice wheel of Puglia bread, you need to buy one when you see it because it's amazing. It's one of my favorite bread to have. It's a really good style of bread. Soil in the peninsula, pretty much you will find two main predominant kind of soil: limestone, clay, medium to high. So you have these two different soil pretty much on the peninsula, depending if you're inland, a little bit more limestone. If you go close to the coast, it becomes a little bit more clay. Pretty much the two main soil that you will find in Puglia. Here is just a little map, a little bit more detail to show you where Brindisi, you see the major city body, Brindisi, Lecce, Taranto. So Puglia is located in the heel of the Italian peninsula. And of course, we have a Mediterranean climate. That means there are mild winters with hot and dry summers with not too much rainfall. They have a short mild winters, hot and dry summers. As you can see, a very dry, hottest area in Italy. The warmer climate and fertile soil makes it easy to grow almost anything. Also remember, it's very flat, so it really helps the growing aspect. Puglia is surrounded by water on three sides, as I mentioned before, and cool breeze of the Mediterranean to moderate vineyards temperature. It's very good for the vineyards because they get this cool breeze from the sea. And here it's a little bit more technical that I would like to show you about the wine aspect of Puglia. So there are 4 DOCG and the 28 DOC appellation in Puglia. So There's production wise, it's pretty interesting because after Veneto, it ranks as the second region of Italy of producing wine. So it's actually
Yes, sir.
production area. So a lot of wine gets out of Puglia, second after Veneto. DOC, they do almost, as you can see, 800 hectoliters. Also, very, very important for Puglia, it's not just olive oil production. 40% of the olive oil production of Italy comes from Puglia, and they are really, it's very important. If you have the chance, probably Bobby can get you some olive oil from Puglia. It's amazing. You should try. Usually olive oil from south of Italy has a little bit more spice, a little bit more bite to. Very nice, incredible olive oil to finish dishes. Little dressing, very, very nice, flavorful olive oil. And here are a little snapshot shot of the two wineries that we're gonna visit tonight. That's the peninsula of Puglia. You can see Botromagno on the red with the Gravina village town number 15 in red. And then you see the Cantale on the other side on the coast on the number 30, where is the yellowish place. That's where pretty much the Cantale winery is located. So we're gonna visit two winery in two different parts of the Puglia Peninsula.
Yeah.
So before we start, I want to mention a few things. So we're going to do two wineries, as I mentioned you, two families. So the first one is Botromagno, and actually Botromagno was a co-op that the D'Agostino family took over many years ago, and now it's a family-owned winery. Beniamino is the lovely guy with the glasses on the left of the picture, and Alberto is his younger brother. A great guys. I was lucky enough to spend many times with them at dinners, event in Italy, United States. Lovely people and very humble people. And they have a very interesting thing. Beniamino loves sushi and seafood. As a matter of fact, the first white, the Gravina, is his favorite for sushi. He's a big lover of seafood. And also, it's a great cook. Beniamino is a pretty amazing chef. I had some of his dishes, and he can cook. The guy can cook very well. On the other side, Alberto is a little bit more the Italian young dolce vita kind of brother. He's not married, as opposite of Beniamino. He loves fashion, soccer, and his passion is more like red wines. He really enjoy late night with friends and people. So usually, if you have a time with the family, you most likely will be having lunch, sushi with Beniamino, with some Gravina, and then stay late at night in the disco club with Alberto, drinking and dancing all night long. So that's a nice combo of the Botromagno wine. I want to show you this. So the first wine, actually tonight we're gonna start with like a really a rock star wine. The reason why, the one that you have, the white Gravina, is not also a lovely wine, and we'll talk a little bit more about the wine, but it's a very, very unique wine. As my knowledge, as today in United States, there is only one winery to bring Gravina DOC in United States, and that's Bortomagno. So Gravina is an appellation, as you saw, it's a DOC made with two grapes, Greco and Malvasia, and the white Gravina, it's brought in United States only from the Botromagno family, as my knowledge. I don't know if there are any other producer. Very, very unique wine. It's all organic. We're going to talk about later. But what I want to show you, because people think about Puglia, south of Italy, but here in Gravina, we are inland. We are on the high elevation. It's a completely different soil. So I want to show you a little video if it goes live. Let me see.
Marcello, can you tell us the reason why everything is white? Everything, all the structures are white when we looked at that?
I will. Okay, so some of you ask about the white. So obviously the video, it's these kind of recording with the black and white, but the reason is actually Gravina. It's one of the ancient village in Puglia, where the high elevation, it's very rocky kind of soil. As a matter of fact, they're very famous. The cities pretty much built on these rocky mountains. So that there is a very long bridge. And I don't know if you saw the last movie of W707. How you say it? W7007, right?
Right, 007.
Yes, one of the scene where he jumps over the bridge, that's Gravina. That's the bridge of Gravina. So it's actually a unique scenario. It's something they're very proud. And because of that, actually the Botromagno one and Beniamino Agostino, they are trying to bring the walls, the rocky walls of the city on the label. So we will see that on the Primitivo, where they're trying to bring on the label the walls, the rocky walls, kind of very typical of the village, because quite different from other part of Puglia. Because if you look at Puglia in other city, they're very summer beach on the coast, very low elevation. Gravina is a completely different animal. We are inland, high elevation, different soil, much more rocky, different climate. That's why they do very well, this white wine. And that's something that really, it's important tonight, that I would like you to remember about this wine, because it's very unique. So I'm gonna explain the wine, Bobby, and then we can go with the food, few words about the food. So what I would like you to remember about tonight, Gravina, as you know, in Italy, you have the name of the appellation, gives the name to the wine. So this one is called Gravina Bianco, white Gravina. The appellation is Gravina from the village. The grape allowed from the appellation are Greco and Malvasia. In this case, we have 60% Greco, 40% Malvasia. The wine is stainless steel tanks, and it's very fresh, crispy, has a little sour finish, beautiful acidity and mineral because of the elevation. Really a great wine that I love with seafood, with appetizer, as an aperitif, shellfish. It's all made with organic grape. If you turn the bottle on the back, it says made with organic grapes. Very important for Beniamino and Alberto to have organic farm vineyards. And the most important thing about tonight of this wine is that this is a very unique, one of the kind wine, because as my knowledge, maybe, there's something in your area that I'm not familiar, but I travel a lot in different markets. I never saw another Gravino Bianco from Puglia. So it's pretty unique. And this wine was paired, Bobby, you want to say something about the food?
Right. As we said, we wanted you to have a real Puglia experience tonight. So the burrata, that's from famous from Puglia. I don't know how many of you all have had burrata before, but this burrata, it's from Italy. It's a new product actually that just came in recently, and it comes in frozen. So I know I explained to a lot of you all that it had come in frozen and it took a little longer to defrost than they said. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy it, because this is very typical, not just in Puglia, but you find it in other areas of Italy too. But this is one of their famous food products from that area. So we
Yes.
paired it with the arugula, and there is the basil oil is from Puglia too, that we have in the store, and we put that on the cheese.
Well, it makes
Hopefully
sense because
everybody enjoy.
makes sense. So food pairing kind of information. Obviously, when you have a nice, crispy, clean, fresh white wine, or like in this case, a beautiful, rich, creamy cheese like the burrata. As you know, burrata is creamier than mozzarella, right? Inside, when you open, it gets out the richness and kind of milky creaminess kind of cheese. And that works perfect. The contrast with the richness of the creaminess of the burrata with the very nice minerality of the white wine. It really cuts through the richness. And beautiful about Bobby used the olive oil from Puglia, as I mentioned before, obviously very important for Puglia production, olive oil. So it was nice, the addition of olive oil from Puglia as well. Again, as I mentioned before, great white wine as an aperitif, like in this case with the nice burrata cheese, with the seafood, if you like sashimi, sushi, really a very versatile white wine, beautiful expression. I really enjoy this wine a lot. I mean, I don't say that too much when we show wine, but I really like this wine because it's so clean, mineral. And by the way, just to be, I want to be on the same page. Which vintage do you guys have on the wine that you have? Go ahead. You can talk. Which vintage of the white?
2018.
2018.
18.
I have the same one, 18. Do you see how fresh it is, 18, right? Beautiful, fresh, white wine. And that's why I always tell people, it's amazing how, it's a really beautiful, that you're drinking something with a beautiful minerality when you have a 2018 wine is still so fresh, Generally speaking, if you talk about whites, people will look about to have a 19 now, most of the whites, especially Italian whites, but this wine really, really shows beautiful on this vintage. So I'm happy that we all drinking the same one and it tastes very good. So now, as usual, I talk a lot. I want you to say something. How many of you, it's the first time that you're drinking a Gravina Bianco from Puglia? How many of you? Everyone.
First time. Yes.
Yeah, it's not amazing how many times you do tasting, you buy wine from Bobby, you're drinking wine. I know many of you drinking wine every day, several times a day. I can see it. Life is tough. I can see some of you, you've been through some rough time. It's okay. You will make it through. Don't worry. But even though so many years, so many virtual meeting, virtual tasting, and you discover new wine. That really, it's an amazing, I think, thing for me from wines from Italy that you can discover. And they're always great value because Bobby, what's the retail for this wine?
This wine is it's $18.99 and $16.71 with the dinner price.
Say again?
$16.71 with the dinner price.
16, 16?
16.71.
Come on, $16. That's like if you buy a bag of M&Ms and couple Cokes, you spend a little bit pretty much the same. Seriously. It's amazing. You have just try to, I don't want to say this because, my job is really, I don't want to, it's more like to share the Italian experience, but think about this. With $16, you get family owned, organic farm, unique appellation, pretty much the only one in the United States, and they taste pretty good. So I really, it's try to wrap out my mind, of these values. When you shop in Italian wine, especially in the south of Italy, we were in Sardinia last time. Great values. Italian wines are good value, but when you go to the south, you really, really get some great values. So
yeah, I always say that folks, a lot of people that aren't familiar with Italian wines don't realize the great value with fabulous wines. And I did notice you said you talked about oysters to pair with this wine, and we have oysters up here. That's a big deal up here. So great wine with the oysters.
Any comment from any of you?
Pardon me?
You guys can talk. Stop
Yeah,
drinking. Stop drinking and talk.
Marcel loves for you to talk and give feedback. So
We think it's a beautiful, beautiful wine. And
right.
I would say that you know, Bobby is a champion at pricing it correctly because it's not overpriced at all.
No.
Good.
No, it's, and, you know, I would definitely buy lots more of this. It's terrific.
I love you, Elise, already. Don't get jealous. Don't get jealous. Next to Elise, don't get jealous, okay?
That's Chris.
Chris, don't get jealous, Chris, please. Well,
And how
again,
did you all? I think the pairing worked really well too with the.
Christopher, you're mute. Sorry, this Christoph
Who's on mute?
you're mute.
Oh, Chris, you're on mute.
Chris, you're still on mute.
Chris, you're on mute. Go ahead.
I'm
We couldn't hear
unmuted.
you.
I was just saying we like to buy Southern Italian wines. The other night we got Sicilian. We got Sicilian. That's not quite Southern Italian, but
It is.
but the value Calabrian. I bought a bunch of Calabrian wines at Simpatico because
There
I
you
know the
go.
values there.
From
Good.
Marcello, yeah.
I'll tell a quick story. I went to the Italian market in Annapolis, which is a huge Italian market,
Okay.
and they had one Calabrian wine. And then I go to Simpatico, and Bobby had like a dozen Calabrian wines, and we bought them out.
It's a lot easier to buy Sicilian wines than Calabrian wines. Sicilian wines have been marketed pretty heavily and imported pretty heavily, but we haven't found that many Calabrian wines anyplace other than from Bobby.
They're
You
hard
at
to
least-
find except in St. Michael's.
Yeah, Elise, you're right. Sicily has had worked a little bit more on marketing. There is more
Right.
focus on Sicily. Calabria is a little bit more a forgotten land for many importers. But one thing I want to mention you, and that's something that actually during the, we show up tonight, me and Bobby, but behind the scene, as you can imagine, there's several days a week. We go back and forth with the wine, the food, the pairing. And that's something I want to say up front tonight. Some of those wines, you will order them, and if we have a big request, you will wait a few weeks to get the wines, because when you try to do something special and you want to go like Bobby's doing, to go to different region and to really showcase the true expression wines from the region, they're not that easy. Many importers like us, we don't carry them too much. So, it's challenge to bring you something different, unusual, unconventional. So as we're going through tonight, if you find some of your wines, you place an order. If it takes a little bit longer to get the wines, do not get upset. It actually makes sense. You're waiting because the wines are unique and they're very particular. They are not made in mass production, and we have 1,000 cases in the warehouse ready to ship. So it's a challenge. And sometimes me and Bobby, we had to, like tonight, we had to limit the availability for the people to enjoy the dinner because of the availability of the wine that we had to do this event. So I hope you really appreciate this effort that we make.
Glad everybody enjoys. Thank you, Chris. And Chris, you missed the Calabrian dinner, but yeah, we had
Next
Marcello.
year.
Marcello, those were Marcello's. His company brings those in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to yes.
No, I have a question for Bobby, because Marcelo, you're showing the bread from the Puglia region, and Bobby in her store actually sells some Italian bread, and I wonder.
It's not from Puglia.
Huh?
It's not from Puglia.
No, I know it's from New York, but it's made in the style of the bread of that region.
Right. Yes.
In
fact, we have Italian flour, so if we could, but what does make the Puglia flour different? I have Italian flour in the shop. What would, if
Well,
we got a Puglia
the
bread
Puglia,
recipe?
the kind of Puglia bread is kind of these, the sourdough kind of, raisin bread.
Yeah.
There's a lot of air, in the bread, beautiful. And one thing that, the best way to try bread, to really enjoy bread, is just cut a fresh slice of bread with a beautiful olive oil, a little salt on top. I think it's the best way for me. When you have a good bread and good olive oil, that's a perfect match.
Yes, it
If
is.
you want to do something a little bit more fun, you can grill the bread. I love with olive oil. That's just for me a meal. Grilled bread, olive oil, and salt, a glass of wine. I'm in heaven.
Sounds good.
Simple.
Anybody have any other questions about the wine or comments about the wine? Oh, Janet, you have one of your little pups. Any other comments about the wine?
How is the burrata? Everybody enjoy the burrata? Good.
I think the wine is absolutely wonderful, and it was fabulous with this course. I didn't realize you could do it with the seafood. I just told David, I love that on the label it suggests what you pair it with. Because from all these dinners, I'm forgetting what goes with what.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
No,
this
it's
is lovely wine.
Thank you, Janet. It's actually something that we are working with the winery. And some of them that are a little bit more, they follow our direction as a company. We tell them it's great when the back on the label, you tell people the grape variety, the blend, and maybe some suggestions, because it's just nice. And I think sometimes, like you say, you will not think of something, but again, I'm lucky that I share time with the producer. And I told you, Beniamino, when I was with him, every time we would have this wine, he would order sushi, sashimi, a raw fish, and really enjoy. So I started doing that, and I really like these wines, especially if it's a very oily, greasy fish, like tuna, something that's a little bit more rich. It really goes well with this wine, because this wine is so crisp and clean. So think about fish that's very fat and rich. It goes very well.
Marcello. I thought it was so incredible with the burrata and the arugula, the pepperiness with the arugula. It went perfectly with that. It was very good.
Marcello.
Mi dica.
Marcello, the burrata, we use it on pasta, the regular pasta with red sauce, and then we put the burrata on top. It is very good. That's what they do in Naples.
Yeah, and that's called la sorrentina. You make pasta with the fresh mozzarella burrata. It melts just a bit with the pasta so hot with the tomato, and you make sorrentina. Gnocchi.
Yes.
The mozzarella and the burrata. The mozzarella and the burrata has to do the string. Has to.
If you like.
È delicioso.
Marcello, my
Giovanni.
wife is, io sono Giovanni. Yeah. My wife is from Germany, and she likes to eat Italian food. That's why she married an Italian husband. That's the only reason.
She likes to. I know that she likes to eat Italian food because she's married to you.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the only reason.
I didn't have I couldn't convince you that potatoes and onions are better, so I gave in. As a submissive wife.
Well, actually, if everybody's ready to move on to the next course, this is a great introduction, because Giovanni, I have to tell you, I've had this frizzelle. I brought frizzelle into the shop because I know it's very authentic from Italy, and nobody bought it because nobody knows what to do with it. But we have the little suggestions, whatever. The only people that bought it was Giovanni and Miles. Miles bought it for Giovanni. So the few packages I had, they all went to their house eventually. So so Marcello said, you got to have frizzelli
There we
with
go.
the dinner. That's very
There we go.
Puglia. So I said, all right, well, now people can understand what to do with it. So Giovanni, he's going to just talk for a couple of minutes about how he has always eaten frizzelli. So this is we're all going to enjoy it together tonight at once. So hopefully everybody will like it. You just dip it in the water, not very long, and then you're going to explain. Let him explain. He knows.
Yeah. I had to explain something in the beginning. First of all, in Italy, in the south part in Puglia, they call it friselle, F-R-I. In Naples, they call it F-R-E, or freselle. Freselle, maybe Marcello knows, freselle. In Puglia, it's a friselle. Yeah, very small difference. But in Italy, they have a different dialects. Wherever you go, you have a different pronunciation. So friselle, I think, was generated by the fact that because they are double cooked, they're like a biscotti. They are cooked well. They can keep a long time on the shelf or a long time in the family. While a bread, with the humidity of the bread itself, we don't last as long as a friselle. So it was used because it's a long time ago. They didn't have refrigeration. So friselle was transported easily from one place to another because it was a double cook. You know, the way they make like a big donuts, and they put in the oven, and 50% when they are cooked, they cut in half and horizontally. And they open and they cook again. So it is a second cooking. Now, the way you use this friselle, and I was using when I was small growing up in Italy, first you put under the faucet or you dump in some water. You put in the water, but to make sure that it didn't become so soft, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And then after that, you smear with the garlic, and then you put the lamb or tomatoes all around. And once you put this, you have to put some olive oil.
Olive oil.
From olive oil, the one that Bobby present, olive oil and basilico, which is an ideal solution. You don't have to put the basilico, but olive oil with the basilico and some salt at the pleasure, whatever you like. And then you eat. It's one way, that's the official way. My way, what I do, I break in a cup like this, and then I put all the ingredients in the cup, and then I mix together. Like you have the morning cereal. It's the same thing, but you have a friselle. The friselle is a more taste. And another way, when you have a leftover, like a soup, and you want to enjoy the soup, you do the same thing, and you put the soup in the bowl, and you put the friselle. So friselle are very versatile to do whatever you like to do with and Bobby furnished the best package. There are already 6 friselle, and they already, you can put in the shelf like the wine we're talking. You can put in the shelf for a year, and they are still the same as before.
You know, and I, as a good wife, I try to make them. That's yeasto, and as you know, yeasto is very finicky. If the pressure isn't right, if it's humid or dry, they don't come out that well. The best way for you, go to Bobby and buy them. They are the best.
So you don't have to make them from scratch. Thank you. So like you were saying, you can break
Giovanni.
them up. You could break them up, you know, like croutons or panzanella in Tuscany. They use
If you
like
wanna,
break them up.
that's you know, like Johnny said, versatile, but the tradition.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Very nice. You pretty
So
much what
remember,
you try to do.
Friselle is, Marcello will say friselle.
Fresel, of course. In Napoli we say freselle, but the idea is the same. You try to do a kind of a bruschetta by using. Giovanni said is a very smart way to preserve the bread. So you dip in the water a little bit. You put your condiment on top, the tomato, garlic, the olive, and then you. So good, so delicious, so typical from the area. I had so many when I was in Puglia in vacation. It's very simple. And again, only good product. When you have a good Frisella, a good olive oil, a good tomato. That's it.
We have everything with Bobby. Bobby gives everything. Good oil, Frisella, and basil oil, which is excellent.
The wine.
You'll have to tell me how you like them. And
I
now
like
you'll know,
very much.
now you'll know what to do with them.
What- See, that's what I suggest everyone to do that. They do another, some side effect of the Frisella. They will clean your teeth because
They'll
it's
clean
hard.
your teeth, okay.
So for the next pairing with the Frisella Frisille is the other winery, the Cantale. So as you can see from the picture, it's a complete different scenario. Now we are on the other coast of Puglia, on the Tyrrhenian, and we are very close to the sea. Very, very completely different. Low elevation, much more warmer. And the Cantale, it's a family-owned winery, and the wine that we have is made actually with a red grape, like many rosé. It's called Negro Amaro, and actually it's known that some of the best rosé of Italy comes from Puglia, made with Negro Amaro grape. Negro Amaro is a grape that has a very old history. The name Negro Amaro is actually derives from two words from the Greek and the Latin word that both mean black, dark. So the reason is because the skin of this grape, it's very dark. So it really gives a very deep color to the wine. But it's not a bitter wine. Actually, it's a beautiful fruit profile. The wine has a very soft tannin, extremely adaptable for rosé style. So this wine, it's made with 100% Negro Amaro from the Cantale, has a little few hours skin contact, beautiful expression, 2019. Look at this. I love this picture. I took them from the Cantale website. As you can see, I love because it really shows the flavor that you will find this rosé. You find the lampone, in Italian means the raspberry. Then you find the fragola, means the strawberries, petali di rose, rose petal, and melagrana. Those are the melagrana. What do you call the melagrana? You call the
Pomegranate.
Pomegranate,
Thank
yeah.
you. Pomegranate. Thank you. Pomegranate. And I really can find all these flavor profile in this wine. I love rosé. I love Italian rosé. And some of my favorite are from Puglia, by far. The color, it's just right. You can see rosé from Italy, they get a little tiny, a little darker than rosé from other parts, just a tiny, but beautiful, beautiful. They do a free rust must from the fermentation, very few hours in the skin contact, 12 to 24 hours to get the color of the for the wines. Obviously stainless steel tanks, a really nice expression of rosé. And because of this wine, I thought it was perfect with the Frisella, because Frisella, it's bread, you get olive oil, the tomatoes, so you want something that has a little bit more structure of the white, but still it's a very refreshing wine. I was thinking of my idea when I have Frisella, I think about summertime on the beach, holiday, vacation times, the rosé is beautiful. The one that you see on the picture is actually the older label of the wine. Now this is the new label. They revamped the label on the 2019. So the one that you see on the picture is the 2018, but that's everybody has the 19, right? Correct?
Yes, it's the 19.
Yeah. So what you got, the Rosato?
We love it. We absolutely love it. And, we love the first wine and we love the second wine. So we're, Bobby, we got lots of more wine from you that we need.
How is the Frisella with tomato? Did you guys remember? Frisella is like meat. Some people like rare, medium rare, well done. Same with the Frisella. Some people like pretty hard, so you do just a little damp in the one. Some people like a little bit softer, so you keep a little bit longer. So there is not the right way to do it. It's only your way to do it. So
I I like the idea of adding the garlic or scraping it with garlic, which I think I don't know if it was, who said that, but
Giovanni.
Giovanni said that.
Yeah, but I didn't do that, but I am absolutely shocked. This was probably my least lowest expectation of a meal, and I absolutely adore this. This was very, very good.
I have to be honest with you, Janet.
That's great.
Bobby, when we do the pairing and do the food, there's always a back and forth because, I want to do the traditional food, right? And Bobby as well. But at the same time, Bobby, she wants to make sure that you guys have a nice, beautiful meal. So she said, well, it's just, the frizzella with tomato. I say, yes, that's what we're going to do. That's typical. And you will see the other dish. And we go back and forth. So obviously, we try to make it with, good olive oil and things. But sometimes, like we said in the past, it doesn't need to be like a 5-star Michelin complicated things. Simple things that can really taste very good. Plus, I really bring and share with you, all of you, the typical, most traditional food that we can bring here in the United States to you guys in this virtual, obviously the virtual setting has some limitations, so I want to make sure, but I think that was perfect, and the Rosé de Negramaro, that really was perfect. So I want to see other comments for some of you. How did your frisella come out? Good?
Good, and we did rub it with garlic and it was terrific.
That's good.
Tell us,
Excellent.
Marcello, can you tell us about the name Negro Amaro?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like the right name for this wine.
Well, so Negro Amaro is actually correct. It's to be two separate words, Negro and Amaro. Negro Amaro, they're coming from the Latin and the Greek word. They're both, in a different way, they both means dark, dark, black and negro, black, black, dark, dark. The reason why this grape has this very dark skin color, but actually the grape does not have too much tannin. A Amaro in Italian means bitter, but it's not a bitter flavor profile.
I wondered, it was like black bitter.
Yeah, the name actually refer mostly to the color of the skin of the grape rather than the flavor profile of the wine.
Thank you.
Bobby, I had a question about the frisella. I've traveled in Italy a lot, eaten a lot of different regional things, but I've never had the frisella before, and I like it a lot. It's a really neat new discovery, but what are the other things you would put on top of it?
Oh, I can show you a picture. I did a post a while ago. I like to do like my, how they do caprese salad with the slide and tomato. I do the caprese frisella. I do cherry tomato.
That's good.
Ball of mozzarella, olive oil, oregano, salt, pepper, mix it, and then put on the frisella. Some other place in Italy, they also put anchovies on top.
Or tuna, yeah, tuna.
I mean, tuna. You do so many different. It's really a topping as your discretional. But keep in mind, we are in the Mediterranean infusion on the coast. So think about tuna, anchovies, tomatoes, mozzarella, right? Everything that comes, it's really a good choice. But you have no limits. You can really do as you wish. But those are some of the classic toppings.
Well, I just put some Romano on mine.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's really sort of like a big fat bruschetta. So it's total sense to put garlic on, because when we make bruschetta, we rub the garlic on the toasted piece of bread. Yeah.
Now, did you say that you put the garlic on before you put the olive oil? So garlic?
The best idea is when you do when you have the garlic, the fresh garlics, you want to use the frisella before it's wet because it's still hard. So when you scrub, it actually works. So you can leave some garlic. After you scrubbed, you dip it in the water, you put olive oil, and you put your condiment. Because if you do after it's wet, it's not gonna, it doesn't work with the garlic because it's not gonna shave the garlic, right?
I also think that basil olive oil that Bobby included is fabulous. Absolutely wonderful.
Good. It saves when you can't find good fresh basil, especially. I mean, when you have that, you don't even have to worry about having fresh basil, right?
Yeah. Is the origin of the friselle stale bread? It seems like an ingenious way to use stale bread.
Yeah, so actually what Giovanni was saying, in the past, to preserve food, they had to find other ways because they didn't have our, vacuum, under, air or refrigerator or, freezer. So doing these double cooking, we have these kind of biscotti that we stay longer. And there was a smart way. And also in my family, when I grew up, even in a normal family, in the morning, I still remember I used to have for breakfast, I used to have the zuppa di pane. So what you used to do, you buy the normal bread, the fresh bread, right? You have for 1 day, 2 days. After 2 days, this bread becomes pretty hard. In the morning, you would break the bread, have your bowl of milk, warm milk with coffee, and dip the bread inside and make it softer. And that was one of my, I look at my kids and have the Kellogg's Cheerios things, and I look at them and say, I used to have the poor version, the bread in the milk. That was my cereal for, Kellogg's free. No flavor. It was milk, a little touch of coffee, and this 3 days old bread, and that's how you eat it. It's a zuppa e latte. So the idea is the same. You try to born the bread that was dry with some kind of liquid. In this case, with just a little water, so it doesn't affect the flavor profile. And then you add olive oil, tomato, and tuna, so you can give it some more flavor. But all of you should try. If you want to really feel an Italian, like after World War, like kind of poor situation, buy a piece of bread, at the Publix, whatever, like a bread, like an Italian bread, whatever, no flavor, just bread. Leave it there for 2-3 days. The third day, you warm up some milk, you add some coffee in a bowl, you break the bread, you dip it, and then you eat it. And then you feel like that's old school Italian. Take a picture and send it to me. So that's, you're like really living the Italian style.
All right, so we will keep friselle in the shop then, because it sounds like everybody likes them. So now that we know what to do with them, right?
Right.
That's awesome.
Okay. So.
And the wine was fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. The only Negro Amaro. Well, we have Negro Amaro in the store, but it's like what we're going to have later in the blend of the Primitivo. It's a
how many
wine.
of you? I want to hear some comments. First of all, Bobby, what's the retail for the Negro Amaro, the Rosato?
For the dinner price, $14.07.
No. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm really leaving. I can't pay my rent with those prices. $14.07. Seriously. So
it's a
I don't want to
for
say
the dinner.
I don't want to say anything, but it really $14. I think it's a beautiful price to enjoy something that is true to a region, and beautiful wine, fresh, crispy. I mean, we tasted with the Frisella, but the application of these wines, there are so many, really so many, but beautiful rosé. Any of you enjoy this Rosato?
Marcelo, I have a name for those.
What?
I call them wine steals.
Wine steals. I love that. I love that, John.
Yep.
We've had other rosatos at different dinners, but this one's it's very different and unique from any of the others we've had. It's really nice.
This is spectacular.
Near the end.
Wonderful, Bobby. Thank
Right.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And my brother-in-law, years ago, 20 years ago in California, started drinking a lot of rosé. and I would go visit them, and he would say, you know what time it is? It's rosé o'clock. This is perfect rosé o'clock wine. That's what time it is.
I love it. I love it.
We'll have to see if they sell it out there where he is.
I love it. So moving on, if you guys are ready, I can go with the
Our next, yeah, you might want to go ahead and get the next course requires some warming up. This is the again the classic pasta of Puglia, the orecchiette,
Oh,
or little
yes. Oh,
ears,
yes.
as it's called. And this is again a very classic dish of Puglia. If you Google Puglia classic food, you'll always have the orecchiette with the broccoli rabe and sausage. So
Yes.
so that does need to be warmed up.
So
And
while you guys do some, you put your apron of chef on and prepare your dish. I'm going to share you some information about the next wine, Botto Romagno Primitivo. So this one, it's a 100% Primitivo. So let's talk about Primitivo. Primitivo is not a native grape of Italy. It actually originates in Croatia, and there are there is in Italy, in California, as Primitivo in Italy, Red Zinfandel in California, and 3D Barg in Croatia. So what I want to talk about this wine, this grape, is actually the difference between clone and biotypes. So in this case, the Primitivo, Red Zinfandel, and the 3B drug, they are biotypes. So what that means, biotypes? Imagine this, and I'm gonna stop sharing just so I want to explain you biotypes, because sometimes you hear wine tasting and people talking in the industry biotypes. Very simple. I like to keep simple things simple. Imagine there was Marcello, and I had a twin. Okay, there was Marcello and another Marcello. We were born from the same parents, same sharing the same DNA, but I was born and raised in Italy, and my other twin, Marcello, instead, the day he was born, he was brought to New Zealand, and he only spoke, English. He grew up in New Zealand with different, parents in different, situation. Now, we both share the same DNA, but we grew up in a different country, different language, different culture, different food. If we meet after 30 years, we can understand each other. We have different preference. We have different, we talk, we speak in a different way. We act in a different way. We are not the same people. Same thing with grapes. Primitivo, Red Zinfandel, and Tribadar, they are the same. They share the same DNA, but because they grow in different countries, in different environment, in different microclimate, they show in a different way. The result of the wine is not the same. So that's why I want to, point out, because sometimes some people they do the simple connection. Oh, Primitivo is a Red Zinfandel. No, it's not. They share the same DNA, but they grow in a different soil, in different microclimate for so long that actually the wines they have a same DNA, but they don't have the same. They don't show the same. They taste different. So that's I hope my example with the Marcello twins work out. It makes sense. It does, right? Okay. So that was my goal. So we're gonna have a Primitivo from Puglia, but this Primitivo, I know Bobby shared with me that you had other Primitivo. This Primitivo is from Murgia. It's not from Manduria. So it's inland in the Gravina area. Remember what we showed before the videos in the very rocky high elevation. So it actually has a different flavor profile. It's a very unique characteristic. I'm going to show some information about this one. Okay, sorry. So this is the Primitivo. So characteristic-wise, Primitivo has a very generous fruit, very ripe, usually high alcohol, has this very ruby color. Usually I tell people Primitivo in a glass, sometimes it looks like a Malbec. It's very purple color. They have softer tannins, but they have this, a little spicy bell pepper or flavor profile. And usually, some Primitivo from Puglia, they got a little bit more on the Amarone raisin style. This one, not too much, but usually some Primitivo, they got a little bit on the raisin style. I love this producer. As I showed you before on the new label, they're showing the wall, the rocks on the wall of the Gravina city. Beautiful minerality because we are high elevation. So here from Murgia compared to the Manduria and the other Primitivo, we have a much more minerality. It's more fresh. It's more bright. Still a medium to full body red wine, but very, very nice acidity. So I think really this Primitivo, it's quite different from the other Primitivos. But some of you can tell me, because you had the previous Primitivo, so you can tell me the difference between this one and the one you had in the past. What do you think?
It's delicious.
Anyone?
It's really delicious.
There's anyone in the room that had the other Primitivos from the other wine dinners and now they have this one and they can actually tell us if they see any difference?
Well, this one, I'm glad you mentioned the Amarone. It has a very characteristic, tastes a little bit like Amarone in some respects with that heartiness. And it doesn't go for the peppery taste that you get sometimes with Primitivos.
Good.
It's a much more refined taste.
Very hearty, well balanced.
It's much more refined than other Primitivos.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
I agree. It's really smoother than most of the Primitivos I'm used to, and I'm a big fan of Amarone. So when you said that, I thought, is that what it is? But it's very, very smooth. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
How is the pasta?
Delicious.
So if you think about, I love to cook. So if you think about the orecchiette, so as you know, orecchiette means little ears, right? The way they do it, I love it. I try it, but there are some old ladies that I know in Italy. They are so good at making. They do the little with a little finger gesture. And usually they have a little tool, but you can also do. I didn't have the tool. So one day I didn't know how to do it. I saw one of these ladies in an Italian restaurant. She looks at me. I didn't have the tool, so she grabs a wine cardboard, right? The wine, the box with the wine, the cardboard. She takes a piece, and if you rip the box apart, in the middle, you have the string, the line, right? She used that to make her gnocchi. Sorry, the orecchiette. It was amazing. She was using that to do the shape. Like very resourceful. So the cime di rape, still now my parents, when we go to the store, when they see it, they buy all of them because I love it, cime di rape. I usually like to put a little peperoncino, a little spice into, sausage, beautiful, very, very comfortable, homey, simple dish, but always so good and filling. And I like it because there is not too, there is no salt, right? And I think goes very well with the Primitivo.
We did, I don't know if you all used we gave you the chili pepper olive oil to drizzle over it. If you wanted to add a little zip to it.
Do it. Try both. See the difference.
Try it with a little zip, with a couple of bites if you didn't do the whole thing.
I recommend it.
Bobby, do you sell the sausage? The sausage is delicious.
I don't. This came from Scosa, but I'll find out where he got it. It is very good. Yeah, I think the sausage is excellent. Sometimes I'm not a big sausage fan, but this is delicious. Really good.
And that's a really, again, like Bobby said, I mean, many of you are familiar, but top pasta in Puglia, orecchiette cime di rape with the sausage. One of the two, you know, it's right
And
there.
it's perfect with the primitivo. The pairing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
excellent.
it's you know, it's such a, I think it's a, you know, easy pairing. And again, Both Romagno, great producer for, you know, this varietal. Again, it's a, you know, it's a very, very a beautiful expression of a varietal with a beautiful acidity. So it's not too heavy. Some Primitivo, some style of Primitivo, they become too heavy. They want to be too rich. I love the fact that this one has a beautiful minerality in the city, very bright. So it goes perfect with just a pasta like that, like this. And again, the you know, the simplicity. Again, it's all about simplicity. A simple pasta with some vegetable, the chimichurri, sausage, a little olive oil, spicy olive oil, and that's it. Very simple, but still very true to the region of Puglia.
So Marcello, this is a 2019. So how long does this sit on the shelf?
Well, you know, I think I said that in the past. Those wines are meant to drink young, so you know, 2-3 years shelf life. If you're one of those people that say, Marcello, I have a bottle of Primitivo Both Romagno 2017, 16 in my cellar, what I should do, I will tell you, get some friends, because obviously you need some friends, because if you still have those wines that you're not opening, or you know, or maybe you should just, you know, have more meals, because those are young wines. Do not, the bigger mistake in the wine industry is people to have wines that, like, you know, today I did a tasting, and one person came to me and said, Marcello, I have a 2001 Barolo, what I should do? I said, you should drink. I said, are you sure? I said, yes. I mean, what are you waiting? You know, don't hold up too much. Unless you are like a wine broker that you try to sell wine and make some money, just drink it, open, enjoying, because it's the idea is to really enjoy this wine. But go back to your question, I will say 3 to 5 years. The prime will be in the first 3 years, and then you will lose some of the fruit. But you know, it's a 19 vintage, you know, so we are in 2021 now. I will say, you know, for another, you know, until 2023, 24 is okay. But again, if you buy some from them for Bobby tonight, and in 3 years you still have some balls, just give me a call. I'll come visit you.
But there's also limited production too. So
yeah, there is a limited
like you were saying earlier, it's a small vineyard, so they're not exporting that much.
No, but I'm saying that is limited. But when you get to your house, you can open the bottles. You don't have to hold them. You know, like you can just enjoy the wines. What's the retail price for this Bobby tonight?
1583 with the dinner price.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a cheap date for you guys tonight. Come on, seriously.
So, Marcello, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever done a comparison tasting of the Italian Primitivos with, say, the American Zinfandels to see how they compare?
I did. I did this several times. And every time we all agree with my friends, my son, we all agree, we all choose very good producers, or the ones that were good, but a very common difference. The Italian Primitivo had this acidity and minerality that was still alive to the wine. The Californian ones, they were very big and massive with a lot of fruit, high alcohol, you know, very ripe. So there was a very common, but still very good wines. Again, John, it's a preference, and the food choices sometimes some California red Zinfandel, I prefer them with a nice steak or a very rich dish. I will not pair with the pasta like we have tonight because there will be way too much over the pasta. And this Primitivo, I will not choose this Primitivo for like a ribeye with like a gratin potato, mashed potato with cheddar. If you do all this, it will be a little bit too much for this one. So, but we all find in common that kind of difference. But they're very nice, but different profile.
So I'm a very big fan of a winery in California called Ridge, who's one of the early adopters, if you will, of the Zinfandel grape. And they've got up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, they've got one of their vineyards. And they've expanded now, but they make really good Zinfandels.
They do. As a matter of fact, I had a bottle last night of their wine because I did a staff training in a restaurant. The wine was the Ridge Zinfandel. It's not just Zinfandel. They do blend with the Syrah, especially the Montebello, the big wine that they have. But I taste beautiful wine, ripe, a lot of fruit. But it was different from this one.
Thank you.
Jackie, did you have a question earlier?
I just felt like when I first tasted the Primitivo that I got a lot of wood aroma or flavor, and I was going to ask about the aging and the time with wood and whether there was anything that made this unique.
Yes, they do age the wine in oak for a few months. It gives you the little, the gives time to balance the tannin, but it's not too long. This one is a 2019 vintage. It does just 6 months, 6 to 8 months on oak. Some Primitivo they can do longer, but there is a little oak age. That's what you feel on your taste profile. They do. You find it special. This one, it's a really more like a youthful, a more bright expression of Primitivo.
Marcello, I think the pairing of the wine with the food is a very critical aspect. When I first tasted the wine, it was sweet. But then after having a few bites of this food, the flavor changed completely and became much more compatible. So the idea that you can draw conclusions about the wine by tasting it by itself doesn't take into account the interactions with the food, which in this case were very pleasurable.
You're absolutely right, John. It's actually a critical thing for me. Every time I do tasting with the buyers and we present wines, very few people are able to make a good call on the wines without food, because especially European wines, Italian wines in this case, they really need the food because they are meant to enjoy the food. And like you said, a wine that maybe by itself can be pleasant or not pleasant, it will change the component of the food. But I always tell people, and buyers and consumer, I tell people, say, wine, Italian wines, you never drink them without food.
Right.
Never. If you do, you had a very, very, very bad day, or you're doing something wrong, because you should eat something, and like you say, I always tell people when I do wine dinners, I tell people, everybody say, taste the wine by itself first, and then wait for the food, have a bite of the food, and go back to the wine. And we should all agree, it doesn't matter if you like or dislike the wine, but we should all agree, the wine and the glass is the same, nothing changed. But what's happening, the wine becomes softer, rounder, mellow, a little bit less acidic, less fruity, less zesty, because it starts working with the component on the food and they work together. The the food, the sausage, the herbs, the vegetable, everything go together. It really works with the wine. So, like you said, unfortunately, doing a Italian tasting without food, it's not fair because you need to have food to really appreciate those wines.
Right.
I agree. Any question about the Primitivo? Good.
How's everybody doing on your pasta course?
Was delicious.
Great.
Delicious.
Really good.
Wow.
And that's just olive oil with the sausage and the pasta. That's it.
It's the broccoli rabe and the orecchiette and the sausage and probably some, a little bit of the pasta cooking water in there.
Excellent.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Great. Another classic way of orecchiette is just with pesto, just to do a basil pesto with orecchiette.
What the hell?
Right.
We got some of that.
Hi, Gia. You're muted, honey. Did you want to? There you are.
How you like that?
Muted.
I was gonna say it's excellent. My mom is not a sausage person and she loved it. It's a
good.
mild.
I'm not a sausage person either, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was really.
Never was the.
So you type it where he gets
I
it.
am a sausage person and I love it.
So Bobby,
It's not easy to find a good sausage here on the Eastern Shore. So I'd sort of be curious as to where he got that.
Well, wherever he gets it, I can get it too. So, I mean, we can put it in our refrigerator or freezers in the shop. Yeah, I'll find out.
Definitely buy it.
Are you also going to carry the burrata?
I do carry the burrata, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Another comment that often when I order broccoli rabe out, it's terrible. It's bitter.
Bitter, yep.
And when prepared as part of a dish, it is so much better, as you have tonight.
I think the secret, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marcello, the secret is to boil the broccoli rabe first and then you saute it, right?
Yeah. It's always
to get the bitterness out.
You always have to boil it. As a matter of fact, you have to boil it and be very careful because the traditional Italian southern way to do broccoli,
You blanch it first.
you boil them, you have your pan with a nice olive oil and garlic, hot. If you don't squeeze the broccoli very well and you dump in the pan with water, what happens if you have a hot pan with olive oil and you dump water? It's gonna be fire, right? So it's you have to be very careful you
blanch it
and dry the broccoli before you put the pans with hot olive oil and garlic. Otherwise, it's gonna be a big flame.
And actually, the one we had tonight was
but
blanched.
Bobby, what was the oil that you used at the end that was spicy?
That was a chili pepper olive oil that we have.
That really added a nice dimension to the dish.
That's what Marcello suggested, that we do either the hot pepper flakes or the chili pepper oil. And actually, that chili pepper oil is one of my oils from Sicily. It's not from Puglia, Marcello. It's from Sicily.
Okay. We talk about. I know.
But yeah, it's a very nice chili pepper oil. It's not too. It's smooth. It's really nice.
It's very good.
Yeah. It added a nice touch to the dish.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
I just want to
What does this shirt stand for?
Right.
Janet, what Janet, did you? We couldn't hear
I'm
you.
trying to read your shirt.
Well, my shirt is the same as the wine. It's
Amativo.
Ah, the A. Okay, Amativo. Got it. The A and the O there. Got it.
The next wine that we're gonna have.
Gotcha.
People aren't muting themselves after they talk, but I was just going to say that, Marcello, you are a master of change artistry, because I don't even know when you changed into that t-shirt.
Well, thank you. I did a quick one. So I want to make sure, because prior I had the Botromagno shirt from Magno family,
Good,
right?
that's right.
Hold
Where do you
on.
get that spirit ware?
Where is it? Right here. Yeah. And now I have the Amativo one. So, everybody's done, is almost finished with the.
How's everybody doing with the pasta course? Good? You ready to move on to the?
Because the next dish, guys, the next dish, we're gonna talk about the next dish. There was a dish that not only we talk about, but I actually also did by myself last week in my house. So,
Yes, this is again a very traditional. We had a Marcello and I had a conversation about this dish, and he's like, "You gotta have this. We gotta have this. This is so Puglia. Gotta have it." So
okay, this is still what was the primitivo that we talk about, that the Negrama, because I put these two grapes because the next wine actually it's a blend of primitivo and actually exactly 60% primitivo and 40% Negramaro. So the two grapes that I love this tasting because we had the Gravina Bianco, then we had the Rosé with 100% Negramaro, and then we had the Primitivo, 100% Primitivo. And now for the last wine, we're gonna have a blend, 60% Primitivo and 40% Negramaro. So I like to, that we have this mixed. And this is the wine from Cantale. So Amativo, the name Amativo comes from the Ama, comes from the Negro Amaro, so 40% of the Negro Amaro, and Tivo comes from the Primitivo. Very, very unique. They are the only producer in Puglia to blend those two grapes. And it's an incredible, I love this wine. On the screen, you can see Mora, it's the blackberries, ginger, and then you see Ginepro and also other berries. So beautiful red and black berries, very silky, very smooth red wine, full body, a lot of flavor. The wine aged for 12 months in the French barrique. It's elegant, powerful. 2015 was an amazing vintage. This one can age also for a few years, but beautiful, beautiful, full body, elegant wine from the Cantale family. And this is the calzone. Last weekend with my dad at my house, I made the panzerotti as well. I made two versions of the panzerotti. I made the fried and the oven. That's my pizza oven, pizza wood fire home. As you can see, we made the dough from scratch. Then we add the salumi and the cheese with the tomato and the ricotta. We fold it, we put in the oven with the fire. That's what came out. And we also did the fried experiment because I love the fried version. It's a little bit more heavy on your diet, but it's really good. It's worth it. So we had this last weekend in my house with my family. I think it's really a typical dish from Puglia. I always loved when I went there. And I like the way to finish because this wine, it's rich and full body, but really can stand out with this beautiful, typical, simple dish from Puglia. Pretty much it's a filled pizza, with very simple ingredients. So I'm curious, I want to see your calzone, your panzerotti, all of you. If you can show me, I want to see.
Marcello, I have a question about the panzerotti because you have it baked. Is it primarily baked rather than fried?
It's not baked, it's in the oven.
Well, I think of that. I think of a pizza oven as baked in this country. We think
so traditionally it's in the oven, but also you find the fried version. It's more like
fried or baked.
Yeah, the fried is a little bit more like the street food kind of thing. But the baked, they're more traditional.
So it has some similarity to what you think of as an empanada.
Right,
Is it-
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yes, but the empanada, it's true, but the empanada, they are smaller and they chicken, ground beef.
Right, they do a
instead-
lot of different things inside, yeah.
Yeah, instead
the-
the Italian southern panzerotti, pretty much you have cured meat inside and cheese and a little tomato sauce, and that's it.
Okay.
These, because you recommended Marcello to do the mix, there's mortadella, salami, and ham in these.
Yes, that's what I did. You can see if you see on my bowl, I had all of them. In the mix, there is a mortadella, salami, prosciutto cotto, and also some capicola as well. So can I see anybody? You guys have the panzerotti? I can see you already eat it. See, Marcello, in our belly.
Is the grilled eggplant traditional, or is that something that
Oh,
you
thank you.
thought would be useful?
Okay, I added the grilled eggplant because that is such a traditional side dish too. That as a side, we added the grilled eggplant
Okay,
cubes
yes.
on the side.
Do you drain it before?
You can
as
just
you serve it?
take them out. They're in oil, so you can just spoon them out or take it out with a fork. You could even put some of that tomato sauce on it. Sort of like
How is
like
the
eggplant
panzerotto?
farm.
How is the panzerotto?
It just went in.
How do you all like the panzerotti?
Ours is still cooking.
I haven't tried it yet.
We're
Okay,
still cooking.
All right, that's fine because
We're
it's
looking forward to it.
Oh, sorry. So you're cooking. I didn't know that.
And then Giancarlo provided the sauce to put on it.
So you guys, you got the panzerotto, but you have to cook it, right?
No, they're just warming it up.
Ah, warming up.
I don't
They're
think
warming it up.
I don't think fried to rewarming works all that well, I'm gonna be honest. But I will say the grilled eggplant is delicious.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
That I
Thank
love.
you, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
That actually comes from the Marche region.
The tomato sauce is pretty great too.
What about the wine? What do you
Yeah.
think about the wine?
The wine is fabulous.
So this wine, I want to be upfront.
The beautiful color, beautiful
Very,
color,
very,
and
very,
beautiful
very,
nose.
very small production. They only make 15, 18,000 bottles a year. We got enough to do the event tonight. We order more for you guys. It's coming. It will take 2 weeks. But it's a very special wine. Again, the country, they're very, it's the first time the wine is blending those two grapes. I love the wine because it's a full body, elegant, soft tannin, silky. You get this a little raisiny, licoricey profile. The wine is a beautiful city. 2015 was an amazing vintage, and it's a really a beautiful, well-balanced red wine. What's the retail for this one tonight?
What?
Retail for this wine?
For the dinner price, it's 34, 31.
Whoa. Okay, so now I feel a little bit more appreciated because you guys spend a little bit more money on me.
That's a fair price.
I felt like you guys had such a cheap date so far.
No longer a cheap date, huh?
I know.
We still respect you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a really, really
It
nice.
was really good.
I want to see Marcello's next shirt.
Actually, I had a shirt today. I did an event today with Nebbiolo Barolo, so I had a Barolo shirt.
You ever show up with the wrong shirt on?
I had a Barolo shirt today.
You ever get the shirts mixed up? Was the question.
No.
No.
Oh, yeah. So, question for all of you. I'm just curious, now that you had all the wines, I know they were different because we had a white, a rosé, and two red, but which one was your surprise? The one that you were not expecting? Like it was a wow, that was
Yeah,
a
what was a surprise? Any surprises?
The
Or new? I mean, I
Primitivo
know
for
a lot
me-
of them. It's the first time a lot of people have had these wines or these grapes.
Right.
This is the best Primitivo I've ever had. I'm looking forward to buying some of it.
The last one or the Primitivo?
The Primitivo, the previous one. I
Primitivo.
loved
the
it.
Botromagno, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I agree with her.
It was very good.
I think
I'm
the
glad.
Primitivo was my favorite of all of the wines. But you know, honestly, we have not had the last wine because we are so full. You haven't even had that. That's our breakfast or lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
Breakfast, I'm impressed.
Right. Oh.
Have some. Yeah. Gia, which one were you trying to say?
This one is excellent.
Is that your favorite?
All
Of
good.
the four?
I have to say yes. Although the Rosado I really like. And that last Rosados that I've been buying from you, I thought were so good. And this one is good too. I mean, they're all.
Okay.
I always say.
Thank you, Gia. But it's time for Marcello to call. It's time for Marcello to call out the very quiet people in the room. Yes, Lucas and Kathy. You're too quiet. Lucas, Kathy. I'm gonna call you out. So, how you doing?
We're doing great. This is delicious. We're loving
Thank
it.
you,
No,
thank you. Lucas, you can come in the video, in the camera too, okay? Come on, Lucas.
Hey,
Good. You enjoy everything?
everything is fantastic. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else? Who else was quiet? Let me see. I know now it looks like it's cool. Everybody's no, not me.
Don't call on me. No.
We really are interested.
So I have a question for
William
you.
Frost.
What's your
William
favorite?
Hello.
Hello.
They just had a very long trip back from South Carolina. They've been down there
Well,
for
yes,
a
we
month.
drove
So
up today.
welcome back,
No
guys.
excuses. No excuses.
They're tired.
But
They're tired.
we over the course of the dinners for the last year and a piece, I think, the Amativo is what I would usually consider a serious wine. It's very good. It's for the price.
It's good.
It's amazing.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
The prices are incredible. The value of these wines are such incredible values.
I always say that. The Italian wines.
I think you do too.
Well, I have to be honest. You know, now after 3 events with you guys, I feel I can be a little bit more, you know, open, honest. You know, with Bobby too. Now, we go back and forth so many times. We really, for us, it's really trying to bring you a combination of a true Italian regional experience without breaking the bank, with, you know, beautiful wines and a food that you can enjoy at home, that's true to the region without, you know, having too much to prep or they're too complicated. So sometimes it's easier, sometimes a little bit more. We need to go back and forth and change and tweak a few things, but I'm very happy that all of you appreciate the food, the value, and the effort to put together those regional events.
Well, I always say that Italian wines are such great value for great taste and great flavor. I mean, a lot of people that have come in that are not familiar with Italian wines much, they're really surprised at the pricing.
Bobby, one thing I would add is that you have put together a great combination with Giancarlo.
Oh,
And so
thank
the
you.
the food and the wine is something unique and special. And I think that's really an important part of the experience.
Thank you. I'm very blessed to have to work with Giancarlo and Alfredo from Osteria Alfredo to work with us as we plan these regional dinners.
I would second that.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm asking them to make things that they've never made, or that it's a, you know, it's fun for them too, to try new things that they've never made before.
Yeah, this meal is representative of what you've done for us over the last year, Bobby, in that you've given us a meal tonight you could not find in any restaurant.
That's true.
This is home cooking.
It's home cooking. You're right.
It's not restaurant fare, and it's really fun to have something.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Even street fair. I mean, as we said, the Panzerotti. So yes, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
So
I
hold
think
on,
too,
Bobby
Bobby does such an excellent job of matching the wines with the food and coming up with such
in
creative.
collaboration always with my wine guy.
I mean, it's terrific. Just experiencing all these great and wonderful foods and the wine. It's really a great education and a great opportunity.
Thank you. We're really trying, since we can't travel there, since we can't go there in person.
Regina was very smart. She jumped on before I call her out. She's
well, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
So, Marcella, for those of us who might know somebody in Naples, Florida, do you do any things down there in terms of wine tastings or little events?
Yes. So as you all know, Florida
I'm Newton.
is a different world. It's I do in-person event in Florida, and I'm very lucky. I have many great friends and restaurants, so I do that. I did this week and this past week. I'm doing next week. So yes, I do event in Florida. So if you have anybody in Naples, Florida, or you're thinking to visit, please let Bobby know. She can put us in connection. I will love. It will make me extremely happy to see some of you in person. And of course, we said that in the past. You all know that as soon as possible, as soon as I can travel and we are more able to do in-person event, it's on my book, in my agenda, to do an event with the Simpatico in a restaurant. We all gonna get together and we all gonna do a beautiful event together as soon as we can. Because I see all of you after 3 events. I feel like I know, so much about you guys, but I need to see you closer and really get, the Italian.
If you go to Naples, I would call.
Very close.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful little story of Puglia. I Pugliesi so brava gente. The Pugliese people are wonderful. My husband and I, we were stuck in Trampini in Rome, and there was so much fog, planes wouldn't land and go. So we were stuck there on a Sunday afternoon at Simpatico airport, that's at the end of the world. And I was furious. Now I'm in Rome, I can see the Vatican, I'm going to be stuck here. And my husband said, it's Sunday, you should really do a prayer. We did a prayer, and would you believe it? We turned around, and on the parking lot, there was a bus, and there were people all around. So we went there, and we said, younger Giovanni Auvilio, what are you doing? They said, we are from Lecce and we are going to Rome. Would you like to come with us? I mean, they didn't know if we were burglars, if we were mafia, if we were camorras, or drunks, and they just come with us. So we went with them in the bus, and there was Father Alfonso from Lecce. And in the bus we sang, and we just were one of them. And that Father Alfonso, in a quarter of an hour, he was in the Vatican. How he did it, I don't know, but he did it. And they took us under the wings, and it was so, so beautiful. And when Giovanni said at the end, he said, Father Alfonso, can we make a contribution? He said, no, friendship you cannot buy and you cannot pay. In Puglia diciamo noi siamo tutti sorelle e
Brava.
We are all brothers and sisters.
Yes, that's what it matters. That's what we are all friends. We are all brother and sister. I agree. So, raise your glass.
Oh, we have to actually we have to say happy birthday to you, Marcello. You had a birthday this week.
I did.
Hello, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
auguri.
Buon compleanno. Buon compleanno.
Grazie.
Auguri, caro Marcello. Auguri a te.
Marcello.
Yeah, it was Marcello's birthday.
The flag is the back of your shoulder. You have the Italian flag in the back.
Always, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Giovanni.
You look like new government. Primo ministro.
I didn't try it. Is it good?
Ultimo, ultimo ministro, no primo, ultimo.
L'ultimo ministro.
Actually, it's
Auguri a loro.
American flag.
What's that?
It pairs well with the American flag.
The Italian flag?
Yeah.
Oh, if you, some of my friends can tell you, I have so many t-shirts with the American flag. I have my pins with the Italian American flag. I am all over the place.
So I had a question. I've enjoyed the two red wines the most, and I'm curious what other foods you would pair with this last wine.
This one is fuller, richer. Obviously, there's many more application. I do like different ways. So if we want to stay, if we want to do like a more like pasta kind of, I like in Italy they do in Italy they do like a pasticcio kind of thing. They do pasta in the oven with cheese, usually mozzarella. You can put eggplant. It really make like a kind of like timballo. In Northern Italy they call it timballo. So it's like a pasta oven in the tray. That's a good, you can put sausages, meatballs. You can do whatever you want. That's a nice option. Or if you want to stay in the meat side, I like this wine with the grilled meat. If you have a lamb chop, if you have some ribeyes on the rack, because of the raising kind of Amarone style, if you have like a barbecue kind of ribeye, like short ribs with a little sweet, like the dressing, there's different style of barbecue, like the southern, South Carolina, Alabama. I know there's different style. It really works with this wine. I like the spice, sweet, charcoal meat flavor with this wine a lot.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I love barbecue. I love it.
Yes, Primitivo and then the Negro Amaro and the Primitivo together is a great combination.
Yes.
With barbecue,
So,
which we do a lot of here in the Eastern Shore.
So, question for all of you. So it was Puglia fun tonight, the tour of Puglia? Good?
It was great.
Yeah, very good.
Lots of fun, and I learned a lot. Thank you.
Good, good. I'm very
Well,
happy.
actually, the I don't know if you all are ready to go to dessert, but the dessert is also a very traditional dish of Puglia, and the nickname is Dirty Face because of the powdered sugar. When you eat it, it's supposed to get all over your face, and so that's where the nickname Dirty Face came from for this dessert.
Where did the dessert come from?
Scosa. He made it.
Mm.
Giancarlo made it.
So Marcella, what can you tell us about the wines of Florida?
Whoa.
The one on my house? That's great. So actually, funny that you ask that because I live here and I'm in the wine industry. I love wine. So I was talking with a friend of mine. I bought and I planted muscadine vines because that's what we have in Florida. So I have a white and red muscadine I planted in my property and with my dad. And we're gonna wait because right now, in this time of the year, the vines are sleeping, right? Because it's winter. They will bud in April, I will say. Then we're gonna do some pruning, some green pruning in May, June. Hopefully by September, August to September, we'll do. You will see the grapes. It will take a couple of years, but my experience, I did taste some muscadine wine from Florida, and obviously that sweet with the low acidity wines, red or white. They are not very good, but it's just fun to make them. And but I do have some vines planted. Yes, I do.
So
You
the
should
most
expect some
important product,
flavors.
the most important product of vines
What's
in
that?
Florida is shade.
Yes. Yes, you're right. So we'll see. I will show you guys the progress. I will show you. I think in 2 years I should have my first bottle of Marcello Florida muscadine wine. I don't think that any of my Italian producer. I don't think any of my Italian producer is afraid of the competition, but.
Maybe you can export it to Italy.
I didn't even know they were making wine down there, but they're making wine in, I guess, almost every state in the union now. I don't know. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So is everybody ready to move on to dessert and we can get
Oh my God.
We're good.
Sporkamoose? Am
Is
I
it
saying
cheating
that
to
right?
have,
Marcello Sporkamoose?
Sorry?
Is it cheating to have what, Francesca?
is it cheating to have a little
you
grappa with the
froze, Fran-
dessert?
No,
Absolutely not.
No.
Not cheating at all.
it's an Italian wine
Go
dinner.
for it.
Grappa is always welcome.
So I just
Yes,
wanted to say that
I wish I could.
Did I hear grappa?
does say mute.
Chris,
It does say mute.
Chris,
go
we're
ahead.
Limoncello.
Chris, go ahead. No,
I-
you're not on mute.
I have
We
a,
hear you.
I have a
Chris,
real
we hear
good
you.
friend who buys, very expensive Barolos and Barbarescos, and we have a lot of fun with that. It's great, but there's nothing like these wonderful wines paired with just the right food, with just the right host. It's just a different experience, and it's better. It's wonderful.
Thank
Had
you,
a great
Chris.
evening.
Thank you
Now,
so
the
much.
wines have been
I'm
wonderful,
happy
but
you
it
all
is
joined us
dessert.
tonight. Welcome. Thank you.
So I wanted to say.
I'm sorry. Say again, Francesca.
Tanti auguri. Tanti auguri.
Tanti auguri, grazie, grazie.
Tante auguri.
Grazie.
Marcello.
Grazie. Thank you so much. I just turned 25. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Why are you laughing?
Marcello, your descriptions have been great.
The person always exceeds the vintage.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Grazie. So how is the dessert?
But you know what? We're all 20. How is the dessert? I haven't had a chance to have it yet. How is the dessert?
At least in dog years.
Good. Out of this world.
Yeah, right.
Okay, before we, I want to have a few more slides.
I wish I could.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, I wish that I could. I'm
Wow.
limited to what I can give you all as tastings, but I wish I could give you grappa in a little 1 ounce container, but I can't. I'm not allowed to do that. I wish I
Can you
could.
give us some Vin
Why aren't you
Santo?
allowed to do it?
Oh, it's a spirit. It's a different license.
Because I can't do I can do tastings on premise, but
Got it.
you can't
Got it.
really take them
I
home.
think the Insanto goes very well with this dessert too.
Well, it will be good.
Yes,
Vinsanto, any
Vinsanto,
passito,
I
yes.
love Vinsanto.
So just for the some of you
Yes.
that are new, they're not familiar, this is the most important slide of the presentation. Because it's about me. I'm just so there is a lot of Italians out a lot of people that try to say or be Italians, but if they don't look like that, do not trust them.
It's this slide. Okay.
You want to know about Italian wine, food, and culture, you can follow me on Instagram at Marcello Palazzi Vino Italiano, as well be friend of me on Facebook, because I post about wine, new wines, about some recipe, some new events. I also do interview every Friday. I interview sommeliers and buyers across the states talking about Italian wines. As well, I do a Friday wine pick every other Friday about a special wine that I'm really passionate about. So if you like to hear more about Italian wines, Italian food, and culture, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I hope you enjoy everything tonight. If you have any request about any regions, actually, me and Bobby were talking about some other regions. So if you guys have some special requests, because we are trying to cover other regions that maybe Bobby she didn't touch yet, but if you want to go deeper in some other region that you already talked about, Veneto or Tuscany or whatever, Piemonte, please let us know. Talk to Bobby, send us, because we can for sure, revisit and do a little bit more. We can do just a Nebbiolo focus in Piemonte, just on Nebbiolo. We can Sangiovese focus, different expression of Sangiovese in Tuscany with Chianti Classico, Brunello, Super Toscan. So there's so many opportunity. If you have any idea or any request, please send an email to Bobby that we try to, plan our next future events.
We're talking about Trentino Alto Adige and
Abruzzo.
and Abruzzo was what we're kind of talking about for future dinners with Marcello.
Please share with us your requests and we'll be very happy to, try to coordinate it, to arrange all of you.
Bobby, we were really sorry to miss Tuscany, so we'd love Tuscany again because the wine list was just beautiful. And we love all wines from Tuscany. I would love to see something from Liguria because we could go wild with the pesto.
I have Liguria. I have that on the calendar.
Okay. And I have to say, I'm really loving these regions I'm not familiar with because we've done only 2, but I've discovered something new in each one, both in terms of wines and food. So it doesn't matter. They're all good.
Good. Great. Yeah, we're trying, and we're trying to bring new grapes that we've never had before, because we're way beyond Pinot Grigio and the what you would expect, right? So we're really happy to bring new grapes in. Practically every dinner now we bring some new grape in that nobody's ever heard of, which is awesome to try. So there's so many different varieties in Italy. So.
Oh yes.
What is there? 20,000 or something? No. How many?
Oh, there's a book. There's a full book.
1,800, 2,000. Yes, I'm getting that book in the shop.
I read this book for I'm the 4th time, and I'm still finding things that I didn't know. So
and he has
how many different varieties? What is it? 2,000?
Yeah, they say over 2,000, but
the author is American and he's got a really nice writing style. I mean,
California, yes.
Yeah. He's
2,000 different ones.
Yeah.
So we have a lot that we have yet to explore. So
Yes.
we're excited.
Don't worry, we're not gonna run out of wine for you guys.
Yeah, we won't run out of great wines. So how's the dessert? How do you all like the dessert? The
lovely.
dirty face. The dirty
Very
face dessert. Giancarlo specifically asked me to get feedback on how you all like the dessert. I don't know if he's ever made
This
that
used,
before.
he used to have this on the menu. It's called
Did
Mille
he?
Fougueux. Yes.
Okay, because he asked me to please find out
He should
feedback
put
on
it
the
back on
dessert.
the menu.
Okay, I'll tell him that. I'll tell him that.
Delicious and it's light, so it's a
Right, very good.
I will tell him that.
My mom said the dessert was one of the best things she ever had.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Wow. Okay.
Right now, but she said it was
Good. We will. I'll let Giancarlo know that. Thank
So,
you.
so Bobby, I might be a little bold after only having my first vaccination shot and not even my second yet. But any thought about when we might be able to do this in person?
Oh, I don't know. Who
September.
knows? I guess it totally depends on what we're allowed to do, number one, with
yes.
groupings of people. That's the big thing. What we're allowed to by the state.
I think you
So
know
once
no
they-
earlier than September.
Yeah, I would say not this summer.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was hopeful.
I know. I'm hoping that we're going to
Yeah.
be able to travel to Italy next spring. We'll see.
Having said
Hey,
that,
if, Glenn
We're hoping to
Glasgow-
get there this summer. I have reservations for this summer, please.
Oh, depending on where you're going.
Sirmione and the Dolomites.
Oh, okay.
Bolzano and Sirmione.
Beautiful.
having said that, I think both formats have their benefits. I mean, both the face-to-face and the what we're doing now have actually advantages, and I'm sure Marcello sees that as well with what he's doing. So I'm very happy with what we're doing.
Yeah, that's a great point, John, because the folks that we've had in the dinners, we would never have been able to have had them
Well,
here in
you
person.
don't have to worry about driving home.
And you don't have to worry about driving home. Yeah.
Well,
I agree with that. I wouldn't completely give these up. I
Yeah,
am
no.
looking
No, we're
forward to
not.
in person. We loved your
We're not.
in-person ones. We did more of those, but this is
And
good.
the next dinner, we actually have one of the wine owners from the vineyard in 2 weeks that's going to be on, and we would never have been able to have done that had it not been for this technology. So
Hey, Glenn Glasgow, if
What's
you're
that?
still, I'm calling for Glenn Glasgow. If you're still on right now.
Yes, I
get in
am,
touch
Miles.
with Bob. Excellent. Get in touch with Bobby and leave your contact information. And
Absolutely.
I'll swap it through there, okay? I can't
Sounds
wait to
great.
see you. Thank
So-
you. And anybody
Yeah,
else,
that's awesome.
anybody else who's from Woodward High School, class of 75 that happens to be on,
me.
feel free to join, okay?
That's me.
Okay, awesome.
Does
I
Whitman
went to
count?
this
How about
school.
Whitman?
That's a leaner, that's not a ringer.
Bobby, I'm curious because Bobby, you were very diplomatic. You didn't say the winery, but I'm curious, which one is the winery?
What's that?
The next in 2 weeks, which one is the winery? I'm curious.
Oh, it's from Montepulciano, the Corta alla Flora.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Corta alla Flora. From the Montepulciano, the town. So Vino Nobile, Rosso de Montepulciano, those.
Okay.
Which we have not touched. We haven't had a Montepulciano yet.
Montepulciano? Okay.
Yep. So that'll be a first.
I don't know why your camera's on the side.
So any question from any of you?
Go to it.
Marcello, thank you so much
5 years.
again.
Thank you.
A
Thank you.
wonderful,
Very
wonderful night. Thank you so
I
much
want
for
to cheers
joining
all
us.
of you. Cheers.
Salute.
Salute.
Thank you.
Salute. I have to have
Buonanotte.
another
Buonanotte.
little
Bobby,
Marcello.
can we place orders by email?
I didn't know.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Salute.
great.
Thank you all of
Grazie,
you.
buonanotte. Tanti
Buonanotte.
auguri.
Grazie.
Grazie mille. Thank you, Marcello.
This is
And
awesome.
thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Marcello.
This is like a great.
Thank you.